Good morning, everybody. This is Amanda Grant. We've got a lot to do. So it is 9:02. We're going to call the meeting to order. I'll do a quick roll. And got Margaret Basket, Jennifer China, Noel Mason, and Sarah Kinney. Good morning. Did I miss anybody? All right. I sent you guys a copy of the minute meetings or the meeting minutes for February 4th and March 3rd. I need for the PAC to approve those.
I make a motion to approve the meeting minutes from March 4th and February 4th and March 3rd.
Second.
Okay.
For China.
Thank you. All right, next order of business is the update of the public art plan for FY21. It's required by May, by this month, for inclusion in the FY21 capital improvement program. We met March 3rd to review the draft, and at this time, staff requests that the PAC approve the budget for the proposed FY21 public art plan, which can be this. I sent you guys a more updated one that we updated after the March one. I just sent it this morning, so sorry about that. But a few things to note about the differences now are that before we present this to management and budget, the numbers at the top, that bar, that funding source, all of that has changed. This was just a snapshot in time when that was taken. Since then, we've made payments on projects and things like that, so the numbers will vary slightly. But the most important thing about this that hasn't changed is the planned budgets for the projects listed below. So that's the important thing on this. Is the PAC ready to approve this?
Amanda, is that the 1,224,000 or the one? Okay.
And like I said, that number was at a snapshot in time back in February or March. So
I'll make a motion that we approve the public art annual budget for 2021.
I'll second.
okay, who's the second?
Noel.
All right, thank you.
Sure.
Perfect. Okay. Next, we have the roundabout at Durant, Little, and Dover Road. 3 artists were selected to provide site-specific proposals. Those artists are Curtis Gareth, Milligan Studio, and Daniel Borough. The SAC met May 21st to review and rank the 9 responses received to the call for artists. And the SAC ranked in the following order: Gareth Curtis, Milligan Studio, and Daniel Borough. At this time, staff requests that the PAC review the rankings and recommend an artist with whom to begin negotiations with. All right, these aren't in order. And up on the screen, we have Curtis, or Gareth Curtis. And just so that everybody's aware, this one is for the goddess of citrus, Ceres.
Hello.
And that's his proposal, play model. This is from Milligan Studios. And Daniel Borup. So those are the three artists.
Do we have Daniel Borup already working on something else? Is it the mountain biker?
Nope. He did apply for 2 other roundabouts, and he was a finalist for, he was shortlisted for 2 others, but the Riverview roundabout and the Bomboyette, we selected Giza Gaspar for both of them.
Okay.
But Daniel does not have a commission yet. But he has applied to, I think, all of them. So you'll see him a lot. I do have their letters of intent. I can read them if you want, or are we all okay with the site advisory committee selection?
And Daniel Borup didn't provide a mock CAD or a render of what he was intending to do with Aries.
Actually, he
Just
did.
have one.
Yeah, I don't know how that didn't get in there. Sorry. I'll add it
That's
right
it.
now.
Oh, okay.
There we go.
I like it. It's very fluid.
And that green on the Milligan is supposed to signify that they're making it out of copper.
No, actually, I found a little bit more on it. Materials and techniques made of bronze, marble, kiln-formed architectural glass, and 24-karat gold leaf. Ceres with a crown of delicate orange blossoms around her head will be fabricated using several classical techniques. The bronze sheets that cover her form will be hand-worked in repousse technique to replicate the waves and eddies of moving water. Elements of the work may be gilded with 24-karat gold leaf. Fine details of the face, arms, hands, and orange will be cast in bronze. The figure will be attached to an internal steel armature that will be set into the cement with appropriate bolts for its size and expected wind load. The bolts will be hidden from sight. The materials will meet the demands of the county's local climate, as well as they have fabricated other works in the area and are aware of the building codes and hurricane considerations. The glass we use is reinforced with kiln forming and stacking process. As there is strength in stratification, bronze is a robust material that has stood the test of time and provides low maintenance. The patination process is not paint, but a chemical process which the bronze is covered with a pigment that encourages oxidation. It is set with a sealant that helps retain its original shade and allows for the natural process of verdigris to take place. Sears is a site-specific work that will be both safe and welcoming for all as it's ADA compliant. So it sounds like she's of bronze. The waves would be the kiln-formed architectural glass on a cement base.
And what's the budget for this piece again?
100,000.
That's the total budget, right, Amanda?
Total budget.
Yeah, that's the total budget. It may not be the total contract amount with the artist, though.
All right, with those three, can I have the tax recommend requesting site-specific proposals from me?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
Right now, I need the PAC to recommend the artist with whom to request site-specific proposals from.
I have a question about this. Do we, are those paid?
Yeah, they would be paid. And we can talk about that. Typically we do a range depending on what we're asking for. And since we are asking for maquettes, that's to be considered in the honorarium that we would pay them. But typically we do something around 500, 750.
All we're doing right now is ranking them, not ranking them, actually selecting these three artists to go ahead and give us site-specific proposals. And then, you know, the ranking is all really thrown out. Then when they bring in their proposals, the site-specific, then those are reviewed and then ranked. The ranking right now is just to create a short list. You're not really picking this artwork or this artist. You're just saying, well, let's move on to the next thing. So even if, you know, whether you looking at his whole body of work, then, you know, if you don't like what he's presented right now, or you have concerns about it, that can be, you know, communicated, but you're not picking that artwork right now. You're just picking the artist to do a site-specific artwork. And you were going to pay them $1,000 each, or how much, Amanda? What was the amount that we've been paying, that we paid for the other ones that we recently did, you know, the river, the one for the bicycle?
Right. I believe those were at $750.
$750. Okay.
So what we're only trying to agree on now then is to move forward with these top 3 names?
Right, but
Yeah,
we're
the
not
site advisory
picking
committee-
anybody. Yeah.
The site
all we're
advisory
doing
committee
is-
recommends these 3 people. And so I just need the PAC to approve their recommendations, move forward and
Yes.
request site-specific proposals from them.
Basically, it's a short list that you're approving to move to the next phase of the competitive process.
So do we just take a vote here?
No, we don't need a vote. We just need a motion.
I'll
Okay, I
make a
move to
motion.
approve them.
I'll
Yeah,
Need
second.
the motion?
Yeah,
Sorry,
you do
who
need
made
to
the
vote on it. Motion with, with the second and then vote.
Okay, I'll make a motion to
Okay, so-
approve them. This is Noel.
This is Jennifer.
thank you,
I will
Noel.
second.
Great. Then we can move on to Durant and Miller. So 3 artists were selected to provide site-specific proposals. Gareth Curtis, Linda Thoreau, and Daniel Borup. The SAC met May 20th to review and rank the 5 responses to the call for artists. And let's review their submissions. This is from Daniel again. And this is for the statue of Professor Tucci.
Okay.
Is this the proposed artwork for that Mr. Borup?
Yes, he sent in a concept.
Okay.
This is Gareth Curtis. And Linda Thoreau. Those were the 3 artists.
Mhm.
So only Daniel Borup provided an example of what he would do for this piece.
Correct. He's the only one who provided a concept. I think perhaps the reason that is because it was a specific person. And I don't know if he's the only one who just did research on who he was. But yeah, he's the only one. I think the SAC chose Linda because she's done like life-like representation. before. And same with Gareth Curtis.
Mhm.
Okay, so we're in the same position. Do we move forward with the 3 again?
Yep. Yep, I need a motion again.
Here's a motion to move those 3 artists forward.
I'll second the
Okay.
motion.
That's Sarah?
Yeah.
Perfect. Next, we have County Center Lobby. Site Advisory Committee met May 22nd, and they strongly recommend issuing a new call for artists, specifically requesting a mosaic tile mural. However, the SAC agreed to shortlist 4 artists under the current solicitation. Those artists were Kirk Cease, Donald Gialinella, and a tie for third between Mark Ailing and Daniel Borup. So for this one, the staff is requesting that the PAC review the rankings and recommend whether to proceed with the current solicitation or to put aside the current solicitation and issue a new solicitation as recommended by the SAC. So let's look at it. Daniel Borup.
Can you tell us a little bit more about this piece, Amanda? It's intended to go in the county center, and they want a mosaic. Like what size? Where is it?
So the call was open-ended. Yeah, let me give you background on that. We put out a call for artists to propose artwork for the county center lobby, and that was it. We didn't tell them what type of artwork it was, other than it was just to be interior.
Mhm.
And that we wanted it to discuss the history of transportation within the Tampa Bay area, Hillsborough County. So that's kind of what they were tasked with. And Daniel is proposing, or he's saying, I'll read a little bit from his proposal. He says, I envision a large abstract form with a relief sculpture around it. These relief sculptures will tell a different part of Hillsborough County's history as viewers walk around it. Relief sculpture is a great way to show representational images and tell many parts of a story and history. These are just my initial thoughts, but I would like to do further research in order to develop the perfect concept and design for this project. So what I have on the screen here is kind of what he was referencing in his letter of interest, is to do a relief like this that people could walk around.
But the site advisory committee wants a mosaic on the floor, on the wall?
On a wall.
Okay.
On the wall. And there's many reasons for that. I think not that they can't do something on the floor, like that takes up floor space, but the facilities director is on that site advisory committee, and he just kind of let everybody in the committee know that currently the lobby will be, every square inch of it will be used operationally now, moving forward. And we're not sure how long that would last. So preferably not having a statue that's taking up floor space would be preferred. Is he one? So Donald Yellanella, I'll read you a little bit of his. He says his idea for the county center lobby is a colorful, suspended array of hundreds of silhouetted images illustrating the history of transportation. Cars, buses, trains, planes, boats, bicycles, blimps, traffic signs, and wheels, all cleanly water jet cut from sheets of plexiglass and iodinized aluminum. The free hanging shapes of varying sizes visually interact with one another as people walk along below, looking up from their changing vantage point. This bold composition of shapes complements the aesthetic of the existing natural wood, terrazzo floors, and minimalist contemporary style. The multitude of transportation shapes are held by thin stainless steel cables and interlaced by a graceful ribbon of stainless steel tubing that winds through the mobile like an abstract road, visually uniting the design. The piece de resistance of the design is a vast number of interactive smart LEDs embedded into the winding stainless steel road that lights up in sequence. The lights will be programmed to display varying patterns based on the movement of visitors below. The sculpture will be cutting-edge artwork for the 21st century and beyond. And I think he provides an example of some of the shapes that he's talking about. Those are the shapes.
These would be suspended from somewhere?
That's what he's proposing.
Okay.
He says, I believe it's in the main lobby area.
Whoa.
Yeah. Next was Kirsty. And he had a very long statement, but I'll try to give you guys a taste. He'll reference this image right here. He says that there are several options that I'm entertaining. The most obvious solution is to create a representational narrative celebrating the history of Hillsborough County as wall-hung relief sculpture traveling across the lobby walls using a fabrication technique that uses CAD design, 3D Rhino, where he sends those designs to the CNC machine to get contour cut out of 3/4-inch marine grade exterior sign industry standard MDO composite. It's a process that he's been perfecting. The final product, which would look outstanding in the highly polished lobby of County Center, the high gloss of the epoxy resin fitting right in. To continue the description, those pieces are then sanded, routed, primed, and stacked to create the relief. We then print the designs directly onto the surface using a large format flatbed printer. Finally, each piece receives a coat of hard, clear, UV-inhibiting epoxy resin called Carbender. This material was invented by Smooth On, an industry leader in epoxies and rubbers for mold making and fabrication, to top coat bars, tabletops, and bolt holds like fiberglass. It's very glossy, durable, and self-healing. That is why we use it on our climbing walls. He does children's gyms. So he says that this project came to mind when he was thinking about a 40-foot long exterior mural and relief sculpture combination that he did, which is the image that's on the screen. That was done in for Greenlee Evans Transit Center in Greenlee, Colorado. And that was entitled The History of Greenlee Public Transportation.
I don't like
something like this. He could do something like this for Hillsborough County or develop a design without specific reference material. But specific images would resonate most with the public and make the artwork that much more appropriate, unique, and inspiring to the county employees and visitors. An alternative to a wall-mounted display that would occupy not only the walls but the space in between them would be above the viewer's head. It would be a hanging piece or a series of pieces, to be exact. This is something I've pitched to a variety of institutions but have not had the chance to build a proof of concept yet. The fabrication process is largely the same, except instead of using 3/4 inch MDO, I would use 3/8 clear acrylic to design with designs printed on it. They would be hung using cable from anchors in the ceiling and sidewalls. Using acrylic like plexiglass would allow light to pass through to create reflective colors all over the lobby while still telling the narrative of the Hillsborough County. So that was his almost like 2 ideas. Mark Ailing, I believe that's the last one. He did not provide a statement of intent, but let's look at his past work. Yeah. All right, so that was it. And again, the site advisory committee was really hoping to see something similar to what's over at the Tampa Bay History Museum, like a wall mosaic. So they recommended issuing a new call for artists, asking for more specific artwork.
Amanda,
Mm-hmm.
this is Jennifer. I would tend to agree with the site committee on this one. After reviewing the artwork, I'm not impressed with something that's going to go inside one of our buildings like that. I didn't see anything that was reflective of I don't know. I think we could probably do better.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't see anything in there reflective of a mosaic tile. Perhaps I think that man, what was his name? Gianella. He had
Donald.
idea, but of what they were asking for, but I still didn't see the texture or the type of a mural that would be representative of something that would go in that building. And so I would tend to agree with the SAC on this one, that we do a review or a recall for additional artists on this one.
Resolicit. Mm-hmm. Okay.
That's just my opinion. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. How long would it take from the time, now, basically how delayed would this be due to this, doing another call for artists?
Well, we would be starting the process over. So we give them about a month to respond to the call for artists. That's pretty much an adequate time.
But then
so
the
that could
site
be-
advisory
That
committee.
could be issued within 2 weeks. So I would say probably 6 weeks or so. It'd be pushed out. Before I issue another call, I would have one more meeting with the site advisory committee just to narrow down
Hone in on what they want. Yeah.
what we want the call to say. The initial call really did go out very open-ended with no specifics about what we wanted. It was just we wanted artists to tell us what they thought would be a good idea, whether it be hanging, whether it be a wall mural, whether it be floor art, whether it be a statue. We put no parameters on what they could propose. And now I think the site advisory committee is saying, actually, we should probably put some parameters. We kind of know we want to see a wall mural.
Okay. I'll make a motion to issue a new call for artists for the county center lobby.
That's Sarah?
Yes.
All right. Do I have a second?
Jennifer.
All right. Excellent. Riverview. Thank you, guys. Riverview, Alafaya River Park. The site advisory committee met May 22nd to review and rank the 4 responses that were received for the call for artists. The artists that were selected are Daniel Horsechief, Milligan Studio, and Daniel Borup. And we can take a look at their work. This is Daniel Borup. This is a recent bust of, I have it, Chief Joseph that he did for the Chief Joseph Elementary School of the Arts of Meridian, Ohio. And then some of his other work. And I can read to you his statement. He says that I am a representational sculptor specializing in figure sculpture. I have experience sculpting life-size figures and monuments within the public realm. I also recently completed a portrait bust of Chief Joseph, as seen in my portfolio. I am excited for the opportunity as a finalist to do research and collaborate with the Seminole Tribe of Florida as well as the Tampa Bay History Museum. My initial thoughts for this sculpture are inspired by what I already know about the history of the tribe. I would like my sculpture to symbolize the unconquered spirit as well as the welcoming spirit I see in the Seminoles. The unconquered thing feels like a natural starting point for this sculpture, but what interests me the most about the Seminoles' history is how, despite the fact that they had been driven from their homes and lands, they lovingly welcomed and accepted many runaway slaves into their tribe. I would like my sculpture to blend these two things. These are just my initial thoughts, but I would like to further my research in order to develop the perfect concept and design for this project. He also goes on to add that he makes it a point to include an educational element to every public work he undertakes. If chosen for this project, I wish to visit a local high school art class and talk to them about the project and raise awareness and inspire future makers and patrons of art. I would be happy to arrange a visit with the Seminole Tribe and talk about the process of creating the sculpture. I am eager to use my experience and expertise to create a proposal, execute this project, and see my proposal become a reality. Thank you. That's Daniel. Next is Daniel Horsechief. And he has a quick statement. And he says, as a Cherokee artist, I feel that to heighten understanding of and between different cultures with art is the reason behind my passion for art and my life's work. Embracing diversity and inclusiveness with historical subjects is the core of my approach to art. Public works can provide to the community a strong message and convey a sense of pride and dignity in ourselves. It can bring us together in ways nothing else can, I believe. Eastern Oklahoma is my home and place of birth. I grew up exploring the countryside, fishing, and enjoying the outdoors of this area around Tahlequah, Muskogee, and Saliwa. My family were some of the first to settle in this area, as this was a part of our Cherokee tribal land allotment. And we'll review his work.
Just a question. Wasn't one of the requirements of this that the sculptor artist be indigenous?
Nope, not at all.
Okay.
But the representative, the director of the Akitaki Museum is on this committee, and she thought that his being a Cherokee, a Native American, added value to his artwork or his ability to relate. But no, that was absolutely not a requirement of ours. Next is Milligan Studio. And they had kind of a long one, but I'll go ahead and read it to you. They'll talk about this feather that's on here. At the Milligan Studio, we are interested in making beautiful objects that evoke a sense of belonging. Artist and historian Dr. Nicole Mary Milligan grew up in Tampa. Her stepfather was a member of the Seminole Nation. She has served as an artist in residence at Turtle Mountain Reservation and in North Dakota with the Turtle Mountain Band of Chippewa for the North Dakota Arts Council. We will review their samples. It'll begin with the maquette for the balance of Justice, Wisdom, and Hope. It's a 7-foot handcrafted bronze feather in balance on a marble plinth for the Dakota County Courthouse. The work honors the Dakota Nation and the significance of the feather in their justice system. We also create coffee table art books for many of our projects. These hardcover books are a way of saying thank you to our commissioners and are useful documents of the process. Okay, so on to their proposal for the Riverview Alafaya Park. They say for the Riverview Alafaya project, it would be our desire to work with the Seminole archives that are vaulted at the Atahaki Museum of the Seminole Tribe of Florida, the Tampa Bay History Center, and individual nation members to create a larger-than-life bronze sculpture depicting life along the Alafaya, which is translated as the River of Fire, historically due to the phosphorus on the river's bottom, which glowed at night. During our design process, we would explore incorporating the River of Fire in glass and light as a part of a freestanding sculpture celebrating the people of the Seminole Nation. We would work primarily in bronze, a metal of gravitas, which needs minimal maintenance. As the Seminole Nation is well known for their vibrant dress, we would also explore the use of color through the patination process. And through the inclusion of kiln-formed architectural glass, which provides a vibrant palette to any project, as one can see in the enclosed examples. The Milligan Studio is always on time, on budget. We've worked in Florida. We understand how to create work that is structurally sound and meets all applicable standards of the Florida Building Code in regards to foundation and wind loading. Our final design would be engineered, stamped, signed by a registered Florida engineer. We always provide a 2-year warranty on all materials and craftsmanship. Appropriate interpretive language will be engraved onto the plinth to pay respect to the culture, history, and beauty of the people of the work that the work portrays. And they thank us. This is the feather that they reference. And this is an actual picture of it completed in the courthouse. And again, it's 7 feet long. And that's it. So for this one, I need the...
I'll make a motion to move forward with site-specific proposals from these 3 artists.
That's Sarah?
Yes.
I'll second it.
That's Jennifer?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Amanda,
that's
for
it
reading
for
all of
me.
those details.
No problem. We'll move on to...
Amanda, can you reiterate that these 2 projects, the county center and the Riverview Park, are not yet funded for, for the artwork itself? And we requested the funding in FY21, but those are not funded as yet. Because,
That is correct.
yeah, the board authorized us to proceed on with a call for artists. So we're hoping that the funding comes in FY21, but we don't have that. It hasn't been authorized. The funding is not approved or authorized by the board as yet for those 2 artworks.
We'll move on quickly through the updates on current projects. Currently, there are 2 vacant seats on the Public Art Committee. It was recently advertised earlier this year, and it will be re-advertised in the near future. I know that Georgia Bayhue contacted me and said that she had an architect that was interested. So hopefully that will happen. And then we have an opening for another private citizen of the county. County Center Lobby, we've kind of talked about that. The call for artists was issued January 28th. Deadline for submission was March 9th, and the Site Advisory Committee met May 22nd. Riverview Alafaya River Park, we just discussed that. The call was issued November 5th. The deadline for submissions was March 13th, and the Site Advisory Committee met May 22nd. Durant Little and Dover Road Roundabout, we talked about that today. The call was issued January 28th, and the Site Advisory Committee met May 20th. Durant Miller Road Roundabout, the call was issued January 28th, and the Site Advisory Committee met May 21st. Steve Blythe Andrews Library, MacArthur Freeman, he received his notice to proceed back in May. He has completed the sculpture and is awaiting the arrival and installation of the benches to complete the installation of the artwork. that we expect that to happen soon. Riverview Library, there's 2 pieces of artwork there. There's the stained glass. The notice to proceed on the stained glass was issued February 10th, and the stained glass is currently in fabrication. The artist agreement for the exterior artwork at the Riverview Library has been executed with Craig Gray, and we will issue a notice to proceed shortly. Carrollwood Village Park, the artist agreement was executed February 19th. As far as all of our annual maintenance of our bronze sculptures, they've all been completed, and we'll start all over with that next year or later this year. And quickly, the next quarterly meeting is tentatively scheduled for Tuesday, August 11th at 9 a.m. Does that work for everybody?
Yes.
Sounds good.
Yes. Good here.
Is that a yes? Is August 11th a good day?
Yes,
Good for me.
sounds great.
All right. And that's all I have for everybody.
Thank you, Amanda.
Thank
Thanks.
you guys.
Noelle, we look forward to meeting you at our next in real life meeting.
Yes, good to see you then. Whenever that may be.
Yeah.
Let's hope it's soon. Sooner than later.
Yeah. Yeah, well, let me tell you, it's not the easiest thing teaching sculpture online. So,
Oh my goodness.
Amanda, do we need to make a motion to close the meeting?
Yeah, you can. We can adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn the meeting for today.
second that. We'll see you all soon.
All right.
Take care, everyone.
All right. Thank you guys.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Thank you.